Hi, my name's Phil Kenyon, and today I'm going to present to you some of my most effective and popular drills to help you improve three of the most important skills you need as a putter. And that's to be able to start the ball on line, control your speed, and read a green. Hope you enjoy them. In this video, I'm going to show you a very simple drill that you could do to help give you feedback on your green reading, and in particular, how I use putt view to help students work on their green reading in this manner. Now, quite simply, what we're going to try and do is to map out what the visual of that putt would look like. So here I have a 13-foot putt. We're across a 2% slope. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the student to place a ball down where they think the ball would pass through. Now, I'll always, if I'm going to work on a visual read in this manner, and we're going to try and project what the curve would look like, then there'll be two reference points that I would use. And that would be to place a ball down 2/3 of the length of the putt, and at a point where the student, the pupil, would think that the ball would pass in order for it to go in. So, this is, like I say, 2%, 13-foot putt. So I'm going to, 2/3 of the way down, I'm going to place a ball where I think the ball would need to pass through in order for it to go in. Once I've done that, I'm going to ask myself, where do I think the ball needs to pass? Or where do I think the ball needs to start in order to take the break and run through that point? So I'm asking myself, where will the ball run through in order to go into the hole? Where do I need to start it in order for it to go in? And then stand behind, visualize that start line, visualize where the ball would pass through, and I'm building the picture of that break in my mind's eye. Now, out on a green, you could use a simple plastic ball marker to mark these points, a chalk pen, a fake hole. And if you do that, what you can then do is hit the putt after in order to assess whether that break was accurate. Now with putt view, what we can simply do is to run the break. Okay. And by running the break, projecting the break, what we can actually see is the actual path the ball would take against the path that we've predicted. And what you can see here is my prediction of where that ball would pass was slightly high. But I would say that's a fairly functional read. If that ball was to pass at that point, if the speed is good, it's got a good chance of going in. Now, probably more importantly, where I felt I needed to start the ball on line was fairly accurate. So I'm getting really good feedback there on my break prediction, my ability to, kind of imagine the path that the ball is going to take, to be able to picture where I need to start the ball. If you can develop that skill, on top of obviously developing great speed control and great starting direction control, but if you can develop that skill, that's going to really help you become a great putter. I think green reading is one of the most important skills you can develop as a putter, and putt view is certainly going to help you develop that. Now, first of all, I'm on a 2% slope here, 13 foot. This green is 12 stimp. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to project the actual break of this putt. So putt view is going to project the path that the ball takes. It's also going to project the aim line. Now with that displayed down, I've got a very clear picture of where my ball needs to start in order for it to go into the hole. So this becomes a really interesting challenge now to get students to get set up and try and roll that ball down. If they can start the ball on line at the right speed, the ball's going to go in. Now clearly I could actually see that the ball started right off that line, and that early start line there was emphasized as the ball traveled down the length of the putt, and it missed right. So immediate feedback that I wasn't able to hit my start line. So I'm going to try and do that again. I start it on line, match the speed. Started online, I felt like it started online. Potentially the speed was a little bit slower than what I wanted, and it was trying to tail off a little bit low, but enough or good enough for the ball to go in. So using putt view in this manner can really give a student good feedback on their ability to start it online and their ability to match the speed to the break of the putt. Now, if you don't have putt view, great drill that you could do is literally to place 2 balls either side of your projected start line. Now, those 2 balls either side of that projected start line will act like a gate. So you obviously need to read the putt, work out what the correct break is, place those gates down, and then once you've got that gate down on your start line, step in, hit the putt. Obviously it goes through the gate, you know you've hit the start line, the speed's pretty good, the ball's gone in. So a very simple drill, often overlooked, it's often overlooked in terms of how important start line is. You've got to be able to control your start line. It makes speed control a lot easier, it makes green reading a lot easier. So if you can control your start line, and also this drill is going to help you get feedback on your speed control. And like I say, 2 really important ingredients in terms of being able to make putts. Now, if you're out on a green, and in particular, if you're a very linear reader of greens. Now, what I mean by that is if you're someone who tends to pick like a hole high reference, so you may aim, 1 cup, 2 cups or 3 cups outside of the hole, and that would be the visual that you would aim at and then try and putt towards, so if you're putting in straight lines. If you're that kind of player, this is a great drill for you. But what you need to do is when you're out on the green, you're going to select the putt, grab a ball, read the putt, and then you're going to predict what the aim line would be on that particular putt. So I'm on a 2% slope, 13 foot, and I'm going to place the ball to the right as to where I think I need to start the ball to go in. Now, if you've not got putt view and you're outdoors on a green, one thing that you can do is to get a string line, an elevated aim line, and then to place the elevated aim line over the ball and then through your aim point. So now you're going to get a very clear feedback as to if you start the ball on that line, whether the ball then is going to take the break and go in. Now, if you've got putt view, what we can do, we can input the characteristics of that putt, and basically we're just going to fire the aim line down. Now, immediately, what we can see is I'm not too far off. That would be where we need to aim for a putt across this slope at that length. So I'm just slightly inside of that line, so I'm getting great feedback on my my break prediction, how far outside of the hole I need to aim in order to make that putt. Now, walking around, reading different putts, looking at the slope, picking your aim point, pressing play on the projector and running that visual, that's going to give you great feedback. You're really isolating that skill and getting feedback on that to enhance your break prediction. If you could do that, develop your green reading skills, I guarantee that's going to help you hole more putts. Now, I've got an 8-foot putt on a 3% slope, slightly downhill here, and I've used the speed corridor function within putt view to project the highest line at a dead weight speed and then the lowest line at a 3-foot pass speed. So I've got a very sort of visible corridor there where I'm going to try and match different speeds to lines, and by challenging and changing that intention from putt to putt, that's going to improve your adaptability, and training in such a manner, I believe, is really going to help you speed control and your touch over time. So first one in, I'm going to try and find the lowest line and match that in terms of speed. Oh, so a bit of a lip out. wasn't too bad in terms of speed and line. Now, what will be the highest line at the softest speed? Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so almost too soft, and it broke and then fell off. So yeah, let's try and do that one again. So highest line, softest speed. Bit high, bit firm. So particularly challenging putt this, 12 stimp, 3% slope. Let's try and go for the softest one again. So a little bit better. Okay, just a little bit too much speed, run past. So this is a great way to really refine your touch by challenging your intention putt to putt. You know, whenever I practice this drill, it really gets me into the target, really gets me into my speed, and then as a consequence, I really feel that improves that particular skill over time. Now, if you've not got putt view and you're outdoors, a very simple process that you can do is to read the putt, place a ball 2/3 of the way down where you think the ball would roll past on your stock speed. And then what you can see is that you'll have some scope. If you've got, you know, with enough break, there's always scope to hold the ball on a slightly lower line, and then hold the putt, I should say, on a slightly lower line, then hold the putt on a slightly higher line. So from here now, hit putts, trying to roll it in on that high line, you know, on top of the ball, and then try and hold it on that lower line underneath the ball. And like you say, you're going to really refine your speed control, and developing that skill over time is certainly going to help you hold more putts. Now with putt view, what I've done is I'm on a particular putt, this 2%, 13 foot, and I've run down two visuals. I've got the aim line, and I've also got the path that the ball takes, but I've actually stopped it. And the first sort of 5 foot of the putt, I've got no visual references, so it's not going to necessarily help me align. You know, there's nothing in and around the ball. But what it does give me are two very different visual cues as I look up the length of the putt. Now, for some people, they are better suited to looking at the curve, whereas other people would be better suited looking down the aim line. And the impacts of those two visuals can be really, really apparent with many people. So it's really important that you try and determine which is the correct visual cue for you. And this is a great drill to help you identify that. So with those two visuals laid down, then I'm going to try and work out which one suits me better. So the first one, I'm going to look at the curve, and I'm going to, as I step into the putt, I'm really going to be focused on aligning myself and the body, and my body to the whole curve, and my eye's going to work down that curve and into the hole. And once I've got aligned, I'm then going to try and make the putt. So a little pacey, you know, start line wasn't too bad. I'm going to try and do that again. But certainly it felt like a little bit too pacey. So again, eyes into the curve, set up, align to the curve, eyes run down the curve, try and make the putt. So that started low, slight pull. So now I'm going to switch visual here. I'm going to try and see how I react to the straight line. So I'm going to get a picture of that line in my mind's eye. I'm going to see the aim point, aim line down there. And then I'm going to try and align to that point. Now immediately as I start to align, I know for me, I feel like I'm aiming a lot further right than what I was initially. But I'm going to go with that just for the purpose of the test. But as I consciously align to that aim point, that aim line, let my eyes run down, I feel like I'm aiming higher than previously, and try and make the putt. And I start the ball clearly a lot higher. And I would say that's a common pattern. I know that I'm better suited to aiming to a visual of the curve. If I start to try and aim at very linear reference points, it'll shove me higher. I'll tend to aim more up the slope. So this is a great drill to work out what's the best attentional cue for you. Is it working your eyes down that curve? Is it working your eyes down the aim line? If you've got putt view, you can run both of those visuals. You can control those attentional cues. If you're out on a green, then map out the putt. You know, find a putt, hit some putts so you get the actual break, and then maybe mark out the putt so you have a plastic ball marker or a chalk pen to map out the different parts along the curve, and then map out the aim line, so T-peg hole high as a linear reference. Then hit putt, same thing, paying attention to your start line, what you feel in terms of your sensation as you're aligning, and you're going to get great feedback on which attentional cue helps you start the ball on line on a breaking putt. Thanks for watching the videos. I hope you've enjoyed them. I hope those tips were practical and they're going to help you with your putting. You can find all the videos on the official Putt View YouTube channel, and for more online content and instruction from me, then check me out at philkenyonputting.com and our online academy. Take care.